Hello, card fighters. We are Team Deus. My name is Brandon.
And I'm Ethan. How's it going?
So, we kind of disappeared off the face of the planet a little while ago. But we both got sick.
That was unfortunate.
We both had work, and I was at school. And between all of that, we kind of didn't really have as much time as we would like to film. But we're back. I'm going to start off with a discussion about the ZRs, and we know we're a little bit late to this party, considering Vanguard's about to completely reset. And for all I know, that they've banned all of the ZRs by the time I post this, which would just be aces. We'll do it anyway.
I'd be so happy.
This is one kind of last hurrah at looking back at G era. So we're going to cover all of the ZRs in the order that they were released. Give our opinions, our thoughts, and at the end we're going to rank them from worst to best. And
based on our opinion,
yeah, the whole thing.
There will be controversy, especially for Drachma fans.
Speaking of
which, starting off with
let's get
Drachma.
straight into Drachma. Who wants to say it, man?
Do you want me to say it?
Drachma's garbage.
He's crap. As we've said to each other and before.
You may have actually heard it on a couple videos.
The biggest problem with him is he's the only Zeroth dragon where you plan to fail. Yeah. So Stark is like, you play Stark thinking you're gonna win. You play Drachma knowing there's a chance you'll fail.
Yeah, like a good 30% of the time, you're like, your opponent has exactly what they need. And then you're like, well, no, I'm a G era deck. No, now I'm just before I'm a G restricted deck. I don't have anything. And so you end up putting things like Cross End in Overlord, which really drives me nuts. It's like, it's the only Zeroth dragon that you're planning to go wrong. And I know all the Zeroth dragons can go wrong. Your opponent can hold what's right. But generally speaking, like, most of them, you're like, I've got a 90 to 95% chance that I'm going to kill you right now. You need some very specific stuff to stop me. And if they have it, they have it, and you fail. But Drachma, like, it's a good 30% of the time they're holding 4 cards. They're holding the 4 cards that don't matter to them. They've got a grade 3 to replace it. They banish the 3 that they don't need. You wipe their board down, but they're still holding 6 cards or 7 cards. And you're like, well, great. The G8 does it slightly better. You still get the board wipe, but your entire field gets power.
The G8s in the Dragon Empire, Kagero burns a board and powers up your field. Narukami burns a board and powers up your field. Murakumo calls units and gives them power.
Nubatama destroys your hand.
For virtually free.
Soul Blast, all counter blast.
Yeah.
It's important.
So,
and what does Tachikaze do?
Tachikaze's one burns its own field to burn your field and give itself power. Yeah, so honestly, whenever I play Kagero or whatever Dragon Empire deck, I'd rather use a G8 9 times out of 10 than Drachma.
I don't play Seabreeze in my deck.
In your Overlord?
My Overlord anymore. So I have room for both. Most of the time, I flip him.
Watch for that in the videos.
He's a good card.
We're not saying all the Zeroth dragons are bad. He's just
the worst of the bunch. The worst of the bunch. I mean, if he didn't have the stigma on him where he had to kill your G-Zone afterwards, he would be a fantastic card. It's just the fact that...
Yeah, if Zeroth dragons didn't have to burn their Zeroth dragon at the end, he'd be like a tool, at least.
Yeah. But he's not.
Moving on from garbage.
Slightly better than garbage. It's the oh crap button for...
the biggest oh crap button.
The biggest oh crap button we've ever seen. It's pretty nuts. Megiddo.
You want to start off with this one?
I don't mind either way. It's better than Drachma because Drachma's like, well, you're in this position where I'm going to Drachma, and I'm either going to win, fail, and then lose, or I'm going, or fail and then somehow manage to win because I've prepared for it, which, good for you. Megiddo is kind of the first dragon we saw that kind of was like Aqua Force or Grand Blue. They've kind of run out of steam. Their combo pieces are kind of all gone. Grand Blue has an empty hand. Aqua Force has an empty field. And then you play Megiddo, and you've got this big explosive combo turn, resulting in anywhere from 6 to 11 attacks, depending on what cards you bring back. All minimum 16k, and defensive triggers are a thing, absolutely. But no, what is it? Defeat flare is not an issue.
Okay. So I was just gonna bring that up.
Yep.
The reason he's better than Drachma is because Drachma is vulnerable to any and all grade 3s. He's vulnerable to Defeat Flare, that Link Joker
He's
guy.
only vulnerable to Defeat Flare if you're stupid enough to attack with him before you finish your rear guards.
Yeah.
If you attack with your rear guards first, Defeat Flare, nothing. Because Defeat Flare can only trigger if it's a Vanguard attack. So he's not weak. So it's literally Larkus Karina is the biggest hellfire because she locks 3 cards.
Yeah. Link Joker has 2 G guards that lock the back row. One locks all and one locks one, but still, even 1 minus is decent for that. Header around can pop one away. Denial Griffin can pop one.
A Bulwark.
Even Bulwark can pop one, and if
unless
you use
it starves.
unless it starves, and if you use I forgot his name, the G flip, then you can nuke 2 of their rear guards.
Depending on the size of your board.
Depending on the size of your board.
Yeah, because if you've got 4, you only nuke 1.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it has some vulnerabilities.
But if you notice, most of the cards we just listed off were in the Dragon Empire.
Yeah, so Dragon Empire, don't do it.
Like the only ones we didn't were like the Gear Chronicle one and the Link Joker ones. So if you're up against Chaos, cry. But to be honest, if you're up against Chaos and you're playing like Aqua Force or Grand Blue, you're kind of in a bad position anyway.
Actually, Header around brings the card back onto the field.
It does,
so
but it doesn't have the 5k boost. No? It doesn't have the skill because you give the 5 units.
Yeah.
If Header around, if that skill was slightly different and it just gave the slots, it would be beautiful. But it doesn't. The card comes back, but it could be a heal trigger with no power buff. I mean, to be honest though, you can still switch it into place by using another thing's skill. So if you want to move something from the front row to the back row and put the heal trigger in the front row for whatever reason,
you can do that.
You can do that. But yeah, it's a better panic button. And generally speaking, you're not using it because you're like, oh my god, if it fails, I'm okay. You're like, I'm in a position where if I don't use it, I die. And it's this. It's just a better. Drachma's in the same boat, really. It's like if I don't use it, I die. But if it doesn't work, I have an out. Whereas,
accounting for most of Vanguard, there's very few decks that can actually properly counter this turn. So, it's generally just a lot more efficient. You're probably going to win maybe 80% of the time you use it.
If you've got a grave set, if you've got a hand set, yeah, absolutely. There have been games where I've gone into this blindly and then realized that my opponent has been whittling my grave down. Narukami.
You're welcome.
Or I've done it really early and I haven't loaded my grave myself. Just keep saying grave. I've just been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Drop zone myself, and I don't have the combo pieces in my hand. And that's probably the only time that I've gone, I shouldn't have gone into this because I killed myself. But that's just misplays on my part, not misplays on the... it's just misplays.
Anyways,
nothing to do with the dragon.
Moving on to Zoa. Yeah?
Zoa was next, I believe. I dig this card a lot. As a great nature player, it is the funniest thing in the world to push and push and push your opponent. Your opponent's so scared of what you've got that they waste all their nulls, and then you Zoa them and you're like, this thing's got 99,999 attack points, and it doesn't matter how much health you're on, if it touches you, you lose the game. It's pretty funny to do that to an opponent. what it does is it basically makes it turns your opponent's deck. The presence of this card in your G zone turns your opponent's deck into only having 3 nulls.
Yeah.
That they can use, and the moment you see one, it's down to 2, and it's down to 1 because they've always got to keep one, because if they don't,
then
they lose. They get hit by this thing and lose, unless they got ridiculous hand size.
I've seen around the net someone got Zoa, didn't have a PG, threw away I think it was 2 G guards and like 3 or 4 10Ks just to get over 100 to stop it, and then so they've just wasted half their guarding potential on 1 card.
Yep,
and it's not even critical. That's,
Yep, and then Zoa rocks up and is like, oh, well, I've got 36k plus a booster, and I've got triple drive.
And it's Great Nature, so the boost is probably 20k.
Not necessarily Great Nature. I mean, in Neo Nectar, it's about the same anyway.
Oh, yeah, true.
But if it's like Mega Colony. But yeah, it's this thing of, it's the biggest pressure dragon.
Oh, I agree.
And the fact that it causes pressure by being in the G zone makes it better than some of the other dragons.
The scariest card to think about.
Yeah.
I know my opponent's got dust. I'm like, when they dust me, I lose. But Zoa, as you said, is like, I'm going to change my guarding style for the rest of the game purely so I can guard against it.
And then that's when you take advantage of your deck functioning in a certain way so that they have to guard in a certain way. But yeah, just the amount of pressure, and to an extent, most Zoo nations could get away without playing it just for the fear of Zoa. Should you though? Not really. Because if in game 1 you reach that position where it's like, they're like, oh, I have 3 cards in my hand and you know exactly what they are, none of them are nulls, I'm about to get Zoa'd, and you don't Zoa them,
they lose that fear.
Their games 2 and 3 are going to go very differently. They're like, oh, well, you don't play Zoa, I'm going to play normally. I would play it. I do play it because there's tons of space in most of the Zoo Nation's G zones. I don't know about Gridora's G zone, but I feel like it's just Overwhelm.
Gridora is essentially Overwhelm, and Obtyrannus and everything else is just free from what I know.
Yep, and Big Belly at the moment is just Baral. So.
Oh, Baral. Should make a discussion video about those guys. Maybe.
So the next card that was released was Stark, and my god.
Praise be. The Robot Lord.
This was like the first dragon that, like, really didn't like take anything from any of its clans that kind of made it, and was just like, oh well, I'm just gonna be good in all of them. And it works. It gave Link Joker a finishing, like a good finisher. It made...
It gave Nova Grapplers just another form of restanding. Thank you.
It gave D-Police that enormous power play.
Okay. When he says D-Police, he doesn't mean D-Police. He means Gallop. D-Robos get this and go, ooh, 36 times 3. Gallop gets it and goes, ooh, 50k times 2. Then times it by 3, that's 300k at your face.
That's only if you've got Scout.
That's only if you got Scout, but easy to do. It's happened to me multiple times. Salt.
But it's not even that. Like, even like other D-Police decks can like just make use of the card.
Oh, the fact is,
ungodly power from it.
Oh, that did.
Let's be honest. If that was a Cray Elemental, people would be running that over Drachma.
If that was a Cray, if that was a Cray Elemental, everyone would be playing that.
Pretty much. There'd be a few decks.
It would be like a $300 card.
It would.
Screw $150 for a Zeroth Dragon. I want a Cray Elemental for $300.
But you only need one because it would go in literally every deck.
Yep.
So the next card that got released was Game Ending. Dust. I mean, to be fair, if it was me, I would say this is the reason that they had to reset. Because imagine how much power creep they would have to give to get a card to make people stop playing Dust. Like,
I'd have my starter make it so, starter, retire it. When you ride, retire this, your opponent can't ride for the next 3 turns. That's power creep. Why use Zeroth Dragons? If they got to that point, I'd quit.
Yeah, because then it becomes a cancerous game.
Oh, you mean like when Chaos was in? That was cancer.
Yes, but they were starting Buddy Fight up, so...
True.
Yeah.
Mildly forgiven.
This card is just insane. For what it does, like, you're now grade 1 with 1 power, you don't have any skills, which includes Intercept, Boost. He found out that the fun way.
See, so I only found that out the other day. I thought it meant you couldn't, use, CB1 retire this skill. No. It's, you have a 5k shield interceptor. Nah. You have a 7k boost. Nah. Not that boost matters.
Not
it's
the
on
boost
their
matters,
but
but it does get rid of
any and
boost.
all skills, with the exception of the fact that you're a card on the field, is gone. You're a grade 1 with 1 power.
And you've got a name.
And yeah, your name means nothing because you will be nothing. You will be turned into dust.
I mean, sometimes the name matters in blasters if you want to use what's it called, but this thing if you're Sharat, this thing turns off your null. It turns off your null because you have to have a card with darkness. So this thing deletes keywords as well.
This dust sort of brought that entire nation up a level.
Yeah, it did.
By having that. I'm playing a C grade deck. Die. But then you add it to
let's be
Chronojet. Chronojet's awesome, and then you hit him, and it's just But then you add it to a certain no guard the deck, Sharat, and then you have those no zeros, no ones on Balam turns, and then you end it with him, which is just his name should be turned to Salt because everyone gets salty.
I can see it. And if you want solid proof that this card brought C-level decks into the meta...
Jelly Beans.
Jelly Bean, or Jerry Beans meta, whatever it's called. Oh, it's so bad.
You literally combo with a card that came out, 4 or 5 years ago. That, the initial 5, this was pre-end. And now he's, the best Spike Brothers deck because you can rush to him in, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Jelly Bean!
Jerry Beans, man, Rush, man. It's horrible.
Okay, we could sing the praises of Dust all day, but I think you get the point. We should.
He is meta-defining, though.
He is. He's definitely meta-defining.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on to the next Zeroth Dragon to get released, and the last of the Apostles, Ultima. It's a good card.
I really like its artwork. He looks like the coolest one to me.
Yeah, I can give you that one. Almost legitimately, I can give you that one. It's a good card.
Good card is good.
Being able to call 2 units, stack 2 triggers is very nice. I mean, there is that one Link Joker card that makes it bad. But it is a promo, and the odds of you coming up against
if anyone has that promo, and you know your opponent has Ultima, honestly, why would you use Ultima against that?
Oh, because you're desperate? I don't know.
But yeah,
to be honest,
a promo that you encounter 0.00001% of the time, let's get that out of the way, this card is really good.
It's pretty good. The only thing I don't like about it is it forces every United Sync deck to play 2 stand triggers. Because if you don't, it's you're missing out on what Ultimate can really do, which is I check 1 stand and my entire board restands.
Generally, though, I like stand triggers, being able to cycle them for most things. But I get it. Some people might not want to play them, and then this says play 2.
So, for example, I play Blasters.
And
There's none in there. I play 4 draws, 8 crits, and 4 heals. But now I have to cut a crit and a draw to play 2 stands to encourage Angel to get the full benefit out of Ultima. And sure, double crits on the rear guards is so strong. Not really.
Double crits on anything is strong. Being able to swing into something for 16, 20k, that's nice. being able to restand it, give the column plus 20k, and give it crit.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's dope.
As we said, yeah, it's a great card. I was a little disappointed just how Paladin targeted it was. It very much favors the Paladins.
All 3 Paladin cards.
All 3 Paladins. But it favors them over
you get less
the 3 angelic clans. But
in terms of what it does, what it can pull off, it's really good.
Yeah.
Because I think on a level of, say, Zoa, in terms of your opponent goes, oh crap, when they see it. Because Zoa's, as we went back to Zoa's like, oh my god, I can't guard that unless I have a null. This guy said, you stride this guy, your opponent goes, unless they're playing one of those funky clans that can take out the back row or the front row and weaken the power, your opponent goes, oh damn, I have to guard minimum 5 attacks. Some clans can get it a bit higher. And Altmile. They can tank a bunch of rearguard skills, then do their Ultima turn. So, yeah.
Ultima is a very good card, and
very good.
As you can tell by the order of release, the Zeroth Dragon steadily got better. They peaked
better.
They kind of peaked at
Dust,
and then they fell out of favor.
Geese, the Lord and Savior of all.
Gize.
And by Savior, I mean we all get to sleep for eternity.
Yeah, RNG deck.
Woo!
The most random ass deck you can possibly play. It's good with one clan, and it's not the clan you would think. Like, out of all the clans it could possibly be,
it's not Luard. They designed it and released it with Luard because, you know, it was a cool idea, and then someone tripped onto Angel Feathers and discovered Nociel Geese, and Geese is now angelic and beautiful.
I guess, like, the fact
they call him the Pimp Lord.
I guess the fact that kind of following that kind of tradition of we're releasing a card with one intent and then abusing it with another card, it kind of follows on thanks to this card. So yeah, Nociel Geese is the best way to use this card. Otherwise, what the hell are you doing? You're getting rid of your starter. You're negating all of your triggers. You're throwing away 5 of your G slots to accommodate 5 of these guys.
But let's not forget, he's also a starter. The only one. Give him props.
Yeah, but he's a really bad starter.
Yeah, but you get to watch him grow through the game. You get a baby, and then his brothers come into the equation. Then it becomes powerful.
Yeah, you get a baby, and then he stops you from hitting defensive triggers, and you cry about it.
He's a bad baby, but he's a baby.
And then you get 5 Zeroth Dragons, and your opponent's like, well, I guess I better kill you right now. And then you spend all your resources trying to save it, but at least you come back from it.
The build-up to Geese is kind of bull, because it's so luck-orientated.
RNG.
If you don't get triggers, which I've seen, hilariously, is the funniest thing. But if you do get triggers quickly, Nociel Geese, for example, then...
Or just good luck.
But mainly Nociel Geese kind of consistently gets rid of that luck. Then what he does when he hits the board is really good.
Yeah, he's only got one weakness.
So when he hits the board, it's very much a case of if there's anything that says you can't guard with grade 1s, you're pretty much gone, because you lose your G guards, which is a bad thing. So Gallop, for example, multiple 80, 100k plus swings. What are you gonna do?
And Chaos taking your hand away.
Chaos rips your hand and pops the
Knocks
Zeroths.
over the Zeroth Dragons, which reduces the number of damage you will deal them in the next turn. And if they can get it down to 1 or none,
And for example, There's PBD. PBD's good against him because you can't pop your Zeroth dragons, which means you can't guard from hand. Haha.
Yep.
Essentially, anything that can hit that 30k, more than 30k threshold and limit the guarding in their hand, that's his main weakness.
Or has insane power, or can mess with the Zeroth dragons.
Yeah.
Any of those, kind of the only way around it. Most decks, though, kind of, they see Geese, they put up one final turn and then lose.
Yeah.
But generally that final turn is almost enough to kill Geese.
For example, I admit, as much as it hurts, as a lover of the clan, Nova Grapplers can't beat Geese when he hits the field because we can't get our rear guards to swing for 30k plus.
Not quickly.
No. We can probably get like 2 swings at 30k, but that negates the whole, I just swung at you 8 times. So, yeah.
It's a lot of I attack with nothing, so we thought it'd be fun to kind of end this with a little bit of a list.
A list.
A list of our opinions from worst to best of...
This is our opinion, remember?
Of Zeroth dragons. Right, so... Bam, in 7th place. We're sorry.
I'm not. if you're having a go going, why Drachma's so good, stop.
Yeah.
You plan for the failure. You just stop.
It's...
Controversy!
Yeah, it is controversy considering in 6th place. And I know a lot of you are going to say, what about Geese? Geese is worse than this card. Here's the thing, it's not. When it works hardcore. It completely shuts down 95% of decks that you see. It is nuts.
But the effort it takes to get him negates that.
Negates it. So, I mean, theoretically, you can swap the position of Geese and Drachma on this list. But just what Drachma does for what he costs, for what he then costs you...
Not worth it.
Not worth it. Because if he fails, you 100% lose. I've played a few hybrid Geese decks, right? And while I've been chugging along to get to Geese, the deck has beaten my opponent.
Yeah.
Along the way. So...
You'd rather take Geese out and have the deck. Same with Drachma, to be honest.
Yeah, so that's why you can switch position 6 and 7. 6 is Geese. I just think it's better for what you have to pay to what you get. You get a game ender. If this thing touches the board, as long as you're not up against one of these decks that has your counter, which is like 6 decks, you've won.
The Chaos is the only legitimate counter to the Zeroth Dragons. Aside from that, as before, the only way to counter it is either guard restrict over 30k or just hit massive amounts of power.
And hit it hard.
As far as the
times.
massive amounts of power goes,
Gallop.
Gallop, and if you're that late into the game, Big Belly. Because
I can see it. So yeah, as I said, you could switch it with Drachma if you're a real hardcore Drachma fan, but he's not getting any higher on this list. Megiddo.
Also known as Mo Guido. He's a woman in Bermuda.
He could be a woman in any clan. That's
he should have, like you said, he should have had a tux and become a pimp lord.
Anyway, yeah, and the oh crap button does it best. And out of these bottom 3, he is definitely the better of them.
Yeah.
He is the last one here that has real failure issues. Kind of every other one can kind of completely ignore them. This is kind of the last one that has those failure issues, but it is the best of a spoiled batch. Just to reiterate from what we've been saying the entire video, even though we're saying these cards are quote-unquote bad, the only reason we're saying that they're bad is because of what they cost you in the end. They cost you your G-Zone. They cost you the match. Well, not the match, the game. The moment you touch them. So if you can't win, they're bad for what they do. If all of these cards didn't have the Ultimate Stride proviso that they burnt your G-Zone up after they got taken off
they'd all be great.
They'd all be insane cards.
Everyone would
even if like the cost was you take a damage at the end of turn, so that if you're on 5 damage, you lost the game. But if you're on 4, you could still survive. So you got another chance. It's the fact that you then lose.
It is very much the fact that if you fail, even though you don't technically lose because you failed, you lose anyway.
You lose because your opponent didn't do it.
If you're playing G, you have no G zone. All your G skills are gone. You're essentially vanilla. That's the cost of failing.
If you're playing Legion, normal Legion.
If you're playing Legion, you can't Legion. Unless you're already Legion. That's the only saving grace.
You can still Legion.
Can you?
Yeah, you just have to both be grade 3.
Oh,
It's not G restricted. What I mean by Legion is that the Legion decks are painfully slow and painfully weak compared to G. So if you are playing Legion, you're just instantly playing a worse deck. And if you're putting Legion into your deck to trying to save yourself,
it's kind of like putting Cross End in Overlord for Drachma.
Oh, what? Yeah. None of the cards are bad. They're just bad for the cost.
Like, the only example I can think of for Aquaforce, let's say you're playing Blue Wave, you fail Megiddo, and you have that Tetra Legion. No. Is anyone really going to play that in that deck?
No.
No? Okay. Moving on.
Moving on. Halfway. So, best pressure card. Best pressure Zeroth Dragon we've got. Its
Easy.
mere existence literally forces your opponent to play different.
And the fact that you have a rear guard that for that turn is the strongest rear guard in the game in terms of power and pressure. The only thing that stops it from being completely busted and putting it at number 1 is the fact that you can't use its skills to give more power or to restand it.
Yes. And be
because
fair,
if you could,
yeah,
Zoa would be number 1. Or
yes.
maybe number 2.
Maybe.
A bit higher up.
Yeah, it would be definitely better than Ultima and possibly Star. Maybe not Dust. Moving up in the world.
Ultima.
The fact that you have to play some stands aside, it's a very good card. It's just not as good as the top 2.
Has a very good game-ending turn if you know you can win. And again, puts that pressure on of you have Ultima so they know that you have that turn coming. And the fact that you can restand all your columns for an extra 20k with a crit, not counting the Vanguard column, but on the swing, give himself another 10k and the beast another 20k. Very good.
Yes, it's a very good card,
and as a bonus, you do guarantee to set up your at least one good column or just have a front rotor for use. So he sets up the attack and then buffs it hardcore.
yes, he does. In
Good dragon is good.
In second place, Stark. There was a lot of shit talk about this card at first.
God knows why. Ignorance.
I just think, like, people kind of like, oh, this isn't what they expected from a Stargate card. And we were expecting, like, Chaos's ultimate form.
I'm pretty sure that because he was going to come out with Chaos, they expected, like, a CB2, lock the board, all your field gets 25k. And people went, no, we don't get that. But what you got was a 30k attacker 3 times. And that's if you're not playing Gallop.
It kind of filled holes in almost every single Stargate deck. And for that...
Yeah, as far as the holes go, it gave, as you said earlier, it gave Link Joker that really strong finisher. It made Cosmic Heroes go from good to great. And as for Nova Grapplers, we didn't really need it, but it's a really good...
Well, they would have needed it if it wasn't for fucking winning.
Yeah,
if winning didn't come out, they would have needed it.
Yeah, winning came out, new support came out, Zubat came out, thank God. And it sort of negated the need for Stark in Victor, in just Victor. The other decks will love it forever.
Yes.
You know,
Blouse.
if you're still playing Beast 80s and love Blouse, then he's
Beast
very
80s,
good.
Blouse.
But Victor's probably the only of the main G era decks that Stark can really actually not be played and you won't suffer. I mean, you won't suffer too much in Gallop, but then you lose that, Molt 3 times 100k plus swing if you have Scout.
Yeah. And of course, number 1.
As you all expected.
So busted it had to be errated.
Yeah.
Dust. It's getting pretty dark out here. I'm going to go turn a light on.
Oh, good. Dust. Oh, dust. I'm so glad it got errated. Now Narukami has the only 5 damage kill. Good for me. So, dust is good because, well, you know why he's good.
Which is good.
He screw nuking your board. Screw, powering up your board. We're going to take your power, take your grades, take your abilities, and negate your G-guards. It's essentially null or bust against him, and if you're playing a certain Shaharot deck, it's you can't guard, you lose.
You still have nulls.
Yeah, but you still have nulls, but you can't use your null on him because they call the rear guards, and you can't use your zeros on them.
Yeah.
So you have to use your non-G guard zeros on him and use your nulls on them. It's essentially cancelling each other out, and you're just... It's... Did I mention you reduced to 1 power?
Yeah, you forgot about that last time we played.
So... if you can get a 36k shield, you're safe by 1 point.
Just. And
Trigger
that's
pass.
not clearing triggers. So, yeah, that was our little list. Let me just bring these back on in the order.
Dump 'em.
Disagree with us? Who cares?
If you disagree with us, come to Australia.
No, we're not inviting them to fight us.
Never
If
today.
you
No, we
disagree
just got
with us,
snakes.
it's completely fine. This is just our opinion. If you do disagree with us about this, you're wrong. That's not up for debate.
Look, we're not saying... Okay, yeah. It is our opinion, but honestly, if you're one of these people who goes, hey, Drachma, you're better than Dust,
yeah.
I will
I'm
only
okay
accept...
for you to change any of this.
Yeah, I will...
This is head and shoulders.
I will only accept, and that's partly out of preference for people who are massively D-Police or Nova Grappler. Me personally, I won't argue if you say you think Stark is better than Dust. But in terms of getting rid of all clans, getting rid of favoritism, Dust is number 1.
Yeah, no, Dust is...
That's what he does. He makes you number 1.
Yeah. As we said when we were talking about him, he brought like C-grade decks up into the meta. He made decks that were teetering on on tier 2, tier 1. He brought a random ass kind of combo deck into existence, like as did Gee's, but his is just better because the end result, realistically, is this is quicker and easier to get to, and it's just as devastating.
As I said with Stark making Gallop, which is a good deck, into a great deck because of that insane turn, which you'll almost always lose, unless you have 4 nulls to stop the super critical rear guards. Dust took good decks, made them great, and got bad decks and made them good. He brought an entire nation up.
Yep.
Can't really say that for Stark,
No.
but Dust made the entire nation better.
Head and shoulders, he wins. Everything else is completely up for debate. I'd love to hear...
Except Drachma. But that's my opinion. Drachma's not up for a debate, but go ahead and debate it.
That one's probably the one that's probably most up for debate. I'd say that Gize and Drachma could probably end up being swapped, in some people's opinion. But yeah.
Same with Megiddo and Zoa. Some people might swap, and Stark and Ultima, some people might swap.
But yeah, no, Dust is...
Dust is hands down the
Hands down
best
the card.
Zeroth.
Best Zeroth Dragon we got. Best Dark Zone card ever. And we're including things like Heritage.
Heritage gives you an extra turn. Dust makes you win on the first turn.
It's, yeah.
Balaam says you can't guard with grade 1s ever. He wins anyway.
It's just such a good meta-defining card. It is head and shoulders above the rest. And, yeah, completely honest, this is why they reset. Because, and this is like the one dragon that doesn't care about the fact that he says, oh, you have to burn your G-Zone. I can name one person who's failed with it.
He's in the anime.
Somehow.
Chrono failed.
Somehow, Chrono failed with the best Zeroth dragon, and it burnt all his cards.
He just wasn't up for the task.
But yeah, this is like, these two dragons are pretty much the only two that are like, oh, we have to do what to your G-Zone? Oh, doesn't matter, I'm going to win before that anyway. Yeah. So that's been our little discussion. It's longer than most of our videos, so we know some of you probably...
If you stayed this long, we love you. Thank you very much. You're the reason... Platonically. But if you're still here, you're the reason that we keep making videos.
Yeah, you're the reason we keep doing this.
So thank you.
To our 6 subscribers, thank you.
It's 10.
It's 10?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yay! I know.
To our 8 subscribers.
That sounds
We're
really
subscribed to our own channel, aren't we?
Oh. To our wondrous 8 subscribers.
To our 8 subscribers, thank you very much for subscribing, and feel free to comment and tell us your opinion. We really
also
are completely open to everyone's opinion, even though we have been very like, oh yeah, this and this and this. We are absolutely open to any opinion, and if you're to be completely honest, if your argument's good, we'll change our mind.
Yeah, if you can convince us, we'll listen and we'll take it into mind. Also, if you have just as an offshoot, if you have any ideas on discussions we should do, such as if you want to, you can go back and say, what are your favorite cards from the first 5 sets? We'll do them.
Yeah,
we'll have to go back and look them up again, but
there are a few in the first 5 sets.
Yeah,
Blaster Dark
and
Phantom Blaster Dragon, Phantom Blaster Overlord, Majesty Lord Blaster.
Okay. We're Dragon.
No, okay.
So yeah, any ideas on discussions, let us know. We'll bring up deck profiles when we can and battles when
absolutely.
we can.
We are planning to, after this goes live, there will be a week's delay. And then from that Sunday, it should be back to our schedule that we aimed for. We should be posting a deck profile on a Sunday, and at
least one battle during the week.
And at least one battle during the week. That's battle/unboxing. If a product comes out,
we may replace a battle with
an unboxing, depending on what we get. I don't think either of us are buying Quadrifolio. No, you might be for Razors.
I might be, depending on my... for Nova Grapplers, because Nova love, and if I think there's anything else in there I want.
Oh, I might be after some of the Blaster stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, let us know if you want to see us open Quadrifolio when it comes out in June. If there's enough response, we may pitch in to get one box and we'll open it on camera, and we'll review some of the cards and we'll give our opinions on V. But thank you guys so much for
listening to us
talk
40 minutes.
For 45 minutes. You guys are champions. So yeah, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Yep. Peace out.